Hey everyone, this is Eddie, and today we're going to talk about bar passage rate for repeat takers. And did you know that the percentage rate goes down for people who are repeating the bar exam? It's around in the lower 20%. So if you have a room of 1,000 people, for example, about in the early 20% in that area, those people will pass. So half of the room, if it's filled with repeaters, half of the room will not pass. Only about 24% and around that range will pass. But see, that's a little strange because you will think, hey, if you took the exam and then you did not pass and then you studied again diligently, then you know more law and then your probability of passing should increase, right? And the answer is no. And I will tell you why. I'm going to tell you why from my own personal experience, because that's what I thought. Okay, I didn't pass, so I'm going to study. And then I still didn't pass. I was like, what is going on here? But before I continue, I want to take a step back to when I was in law school. And I remember sitting in a classroom and I'm thinking, okay, the professor's talking. Is this information going to be on the law school exam? Maybe on the bar exam? And the answer was no. Okay, now why is that? Now, everyone knows that to pass the law school, the bar exam, or even the law school exam, you apply IRAC, issue, rule, analysis, conclusion. But law school is fixated on issue and rule. But you don't know that at the time because they don't really tell you that. So they don't really teach analysis, and they do not teach written analysis. They don't make that a focus because they're teaching the Socratic method, and you're like, oh my God, that sounds so intense. But it's not really the Socratic method. Okay, just between, okay, you do your own research. It's just they adopted the name, but not the actual method. But that's a whole different story. Okay, but I thought that by going to law school and doing all the requirements, I would pass the bar exam because that's the way it should be. Because you do pay all that money, but that's not the case. But when you think about it, you know, the professors, the contracts professor, he didn't sign up and he didn't say, hey, I'm gonna teach the students written analysis. What's he gonna teach? He's gonna teach contracts. Same for the torts, criminal law professor. They didn't sign up to teach you written analysis, so. But I wish someone would have told me that. And by the way, I did ask. I asked people, I asked lawyers who had already passed. And I remember this one particular lawyer that I knew. I'm not gonna say his real name, but I do remember his response. He said, I was in law school. How did I prepare to pass the bar exam? He said, max out. And he had failed several times. So if anybody knew, it would be him. He said, max out on bar prep material. And I was like, that's not really an answer. That is useless information. But I mentioned that not because I'm blaming him, because he did not have a duty to teach me. But it was just an example of the type of responses that I would get. So I said, okay, I guess I'll deal with it when I get there. So now I'm going to tell you how I prepared differently by the time I finally did pass the exam. And I remember talking to a lawyer friend, different one. This guy was in his late 50s. He said, Eddie, the reason you have not passed is because no one has taught you. So I thought about that, and that kind of confirmed to me that this test wasn't really based on intelligence. I mean, you do have that small percentage of people who are great exam test takers, and they'll just pass a very small percentage. But for the most part, like me, I wasn't a natural test taker. But think about what he said. He said, no one has taught you. There's someone out there that knows that. That's a network of people, and I didn't have a strong network of people. Okay. But I knew that gave me a lot of energy because I knew I would find it. I would find that X factor, how to pass this exam. And also it gave me a clue that this exam was based on skill. So let me tell you two things that I did differently by the time I took the exam and when I did pass. So again, skill is going to be the first one and confidence is going to be the second topic that I'm going to discuss. Let's talk a little bit about skill. I remember listening to this one gentleman, this one lawyer from California. I don't know his name, but I know that he did not pass, or I think he passed on his 10th time. So it took him about 10 times. And he said when I was preparing, I had fun focusing on the analysis, and I don't know what that meant, but I'm like, okay, cool. You know, that's a whole different mentality there. So I said, okay, cool. I told myself, instead of saying I'm gonna pass the bar exam, here's what I'm gonna tell myself. I'm going to tell myself, how do I enjoy analyzing the exams? So my focus was on analysis. So of course, that developed a whole skill there. So now I was learning proper technique. Think about it, just the way that I asked it. How do I enjoy doing the analysis? So that led to confidence, and that built my confidence. I was like this. I was ready, okay? Now, let me tell you what happens when you hope to pass the bar exam, because I was hoping to pass the bar exam. Somebody said, hey, a slave is somebody that is waiting for someone else to come and save them. So think about it, you're dependent on an external force, and that was me. Why? Because I was hoping for easy exam questions. I was just hoping that they would make the exam a lot easier so that I could understand. But think about it. All right, that's a weak mentality. The opposite of that is when you expect something. When you expect something to come true, your whole body, your whole mind, your physiology reacts differently. Let me give you an example. When you want to buy somebody a gift and you know what they want, you know the exact object, you know how much it costs, you know where to get it from, and you go and you buy it, and you give it to them, what do you expect? You expect for them to love it, all right? But when you do not know, when you hope that you can find the right product, you hope to go to the right store, you hope to find the proper sales associate, you hope to have the product in stock, you hope that the person will like it. So your physiology acts like this, all right? But if you expect something to happen, then everything, it's a whole different ball game. All right, now let me tell you another strategy that I applied when I was taking the exam. So I looked at the exam differently. Someone said, change the way you look at things, and the way that things look at you changes. All right, so before I would look at the exam like this, put it up on a pedestal, and I said, you are all great, how can I conquer you? All right, but then I started, of course, applying proper techniques, brought the exam down to my eye level. Now we're at the same level here. But then I went further beyond that, and I said, I'm greater than you. Bam, squished it down, conquered it. And I said, I'm gonna defeat you. Why? Because I've done it before, I can do it again. I'm applying proper techniques here. You lower than me. That's the way I looked at the exam. And as I was preparing, I told myself that when exam day came, that I would say this. I would be sitting down on my desk, and I would say, it's just another day. All right, because by then already my confidence was just up there. So to conclude, the reason why many people that repeat the bar exam and why the failure is still high is because they're not applying the proper techniques, and also because they don't have the right confidence. They don't have that confidence that is needed to pass. Good thing is that I'm now available for tutoring for the California bar exam. My information is in the description, so please contact me. So I hope this information helped. Wish you all the best. Until soon.